We have all become very cognizant of Jack and his story, and when Alibaba went public with the largest IPO in history, we knew a lot about him. So I want to talk about his personal story. I want to talk about how many times he tried and failed and what kept him going. I want to talk about what he's today and how he got here. I'll begin with this question though. Jack, why are you back at Davos? It's been a long break for 7 years. I think my last trip here was in year 2008, but I was coming for the year 2001 for the Young Global Leader for Tomorrow, and I think I remember I never heard about Davos when I came. But when I came into Switzerland, so many young people demonstrated. It was such a horrible scene. I asked them, what are they doing? They said, anti-globalization. And I said, why? Globalization is a great thing. Why don't people like it? And then we came all the way for 2 hours here. There is a machine gun. There is a people checking us. Oh God, it's a film or it is a prison. What is that? But when I joined the forum at the Young Global Leader, I was thrilled by so many ideas. For the first 3 to 4 years, I learned what does globalization mean? What does cooperative citizenship mean? What does social responsibility mean? All these new ideas, and so many great leaders talking about leadership, and I benefited a lot. And in the year 2008 and 2009, when the financial crisis came, I thought it is better to go back to work because we can never win the world by talking. So go back, spend 7 years. Now I came back and I think it's time to do something in return. So I learned so much 12 years ago. So why I should not talking to be the young global leader of today, sharing with them how we've gone through. So that's the thing. Let's start with today. Just how big is Alibaba? How many people come every day? How many people come in a week? How fast it is growing? Yeah, we have over 100 million buyers visiting our site, shop on our site every day. And we created 100 million every day. We created 40 million jobs for China directly and indirectly. And we grew from 18 people to 30,000. In my apartment, now we have 4 big campuses. Compared to 15 years ago, we were big. But compared to 15 years later, we're still a baby. How big will be 15 years from now? I think 15 years ago, I told my team that 15 years, in the past 15 years, we grew from nothing to this size. And 15 years later, I want people to see and know about Alibaba because it's already everywhere. I want 15 years ago when we talked about what is e-commerce, why small businesses can use this e-commerce, use the internet, can do business across the nation. And I hope 15 years later, people forget about e-commerce because we think it's like electricity. Nobody thinks it's high-tech today. It is something that I don't want 15 years later. We still walk on the street talking about why and how e-commerce can help people. You try to get into 3 colleges. Each time they rejected. No, I tried. There is an examination that young people, if you want to go to university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times, but I failed a lot of things. Funny things, I failed a key primary school test 2 times. And I failed 3 times for the middle schools. And you never believe in Hangzhou, my city. There is only one middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to primary school. Our graduation, no university accepts us because you are too bad. I would become a middle school. What effect did it have through being rejected? Well, I think we have to get used to it. Even today, we still a lot of people reject us. I think when I graduate from universities and before, for 3 years, I tried and failed to apply jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for police. They say, no, you are not good. When I went to even the KFC, when KFC came to China, came to my city, 12 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only guy. And we went for police, five people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that never received it. So to me, being turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told them that when I applied for Harvard, for 10 times rejected. I know you'll be rejected. They are sorry now. 10 times you wrote them and said, I'd like to come to Harvard. Yeah. And then I told myself someday I should go to teach there one day. I think that can be arranged. Richard Nixon came to Hangzhou, and after that, tourists flooded in the place. And that's how your English learned. I really liked. I don't know why at 12, 13 years old, at that time I suddenly fell in love with the language English. And there is no place you can learn English at that time. There is no books, English books. So I went to the Hangzhou Hotel, now called Hangzhou, because that was the hotel that received the foreign visitors. So every morning for the 9 years, I showed them around and they taught me English. And I think that changed me. Today, I'm 100 made in China. I've never got one day's training outside of China. And people talk to me and say, Jack, how can you speak English like that? Why do you sometimes talk like a Western guys? I think that was the 9 years. These Western tours opened my mind. Because everything they told me was so different from the things I learned from the schools and from my parents. So now I have a habit. Whatever I see, whatever I read, I use my mind. Think about doing business. Is that how Mandarin became Jack Ma? Actually, Jack, the name was given by a lady in tennis. She's a tourist. She came here and she said, came to Hangzhou. We had, you become pen friends. Ma Yun is so different to pronounce. So she said, do you have an English name? I said, no. Can you give me an English name? She said, okay. She said, my father's called Jack. My husband called Jack. What do you think about Jack? I said, good. So you have been using that for many years. For first visit to America in 1995, yeah, I came here for a project helping the local government to build up a highway. And you tried the internet. I tried the internet in Seattle, and in a building called U.S. Bank. I don't know whether it's U.S. Bank still there. It's a building, and my friend opened a small office, which is like only 10% bigger than this room, and there are a lot of computers in there. And he said, Jack, that is the internet. I asked, what is the internet? He said, search whatever you want. At that time, they used Mosaic, very slow. And I said, I don't use it. I don't want to try because computer is so expensive in China. If I destroy it, I cannot pay. He said, just search it. So I searched the first word, beer. I don't know why, because it's easy to spell. And I see beers from Germany, beers from the USA, beers from Japan. But there is no beer from China. I said, try the second word, China, no data, nothing. And 1995, no data about China. So I talked to my friend, why don't I make something about China? So we made a small, very ugly looking page called China. It's something like I did in translation agency, and we were listed. It was so shocking. We launched at 9:40 in the morning. 12:30, I got a phone from my friend who, Jack, we got 5 emails. I said, what is email? And he said, these are the things. He said, people are so excited. Where are you? This is the first time I see a Chinese website on that. How can do something together? So I think that is something interesting. So we should do it. Why did you call it Alibaba? Alibaba? Well, when I started, I think the internet is global. You should have a global name and a name that is interesting. Like at that time, the best name was Yahoo. What I think, I've been thinking for many days, and suddenly Alibaba is a good name. So I happened to be in San Francisco that day. I had a lunch and the waitress come. I asked her, do you know about Alibaba? She said, yes. What is Alibaba? She said, open sesame. Good. So I ran down the street and I asked 12 people. They all know about Alibaba and the 40 Thieves and Open Sesame. And I think that is a good name. And it started by A. Whatever we talk about, Alibaba is always on top. You have said before that in creating Alibaba, you had to create trust. Yeah, because people in China were used you to face. How did you create trust? I think because we started out doing business on the internet. I don't know you, you don't know me. So how can you do things online unless you have trust? So for e-commerce, the most important thing was trust. I think when I first went to the US for raising money, talked to the venture capitalists, a lot of people say, oh, Jack, no. China doing business frequency. How can do business on the internet? And I know that without the trust from the system, the credit system, it is impossible to do business. So we, in the past 40 years, everything we do is trying to build up the trust system, the record system. Well, exactly, I'm so proud today. When I talk in the world, the government and people and media and everybody thinks, oh, this guy's cheating. But because of e-commerce, we have finished 60 million transactions every day. People don't know each other. I don't know you. I send products to you. You don't know me. You wire the money to me. And I don't know you. I give a person a package. I don't know him. He took something to sell across the ocean, across the river. And this is the trust. We have at least 60 million trusts happening every day. But you created it by creating an echo, and so keep the money until they got the product and then they release the money. Yep, that is true. I mean, the escrow service is about Alipay. This idea would love devils because it was a big decision. Because for the 3 years, Alibaba is just like an e-marketplaces for information. What do you have? What I have? We talk a lot. We don't know any business because there is no payment. I talked to the banks. No banks wanted to do it. Banks said, no, this is... So I don't know what to do because if I started to launch a payment system, it is against the financial legal laws. Because you have to have a license, e-commerce could go nowhere. So then I went to Davos. I listened to a leadership discussion. Leadership is about responsibility. And after I listened to that panel, I gave a call to my friends, my colleagues, and my apartment said, do it now, immediately. If something is wrong, the government is not happy about that. If somebody has to go to the prison, Jack must go to the prison. Because it's so important for China, for the world, to be able to trust system. And if you did not do it, I said, I do not do it properly, stealing money wash, not just record, I sent you to the prison. So I always say stay. And people don't like it. So many people I talked to at that time was Alipay. They said, this is the stupid idea you have ever got. But I said, I don't need the stupid or clever as long as people used to. Now, we have 800 million people using this Alipay. Stupid things, everybody is better. Alipay is probably how things is not a part of the world. You have never gotten money from Chinese government? No one. I want it in the beginning. Later, I don't want it because I think if the company is always thinks about panicking money, the government's pockets, that company is a rubbish. Think about it. How can you make money from the customers and the market and then helps customers succeed? No money from China. At that time, I want, and now they want to give me and I don't want it. Your relationship with the government. Yeah, what is your relationship? I mean, if they didn't, here's what some say. And when you have existed in an environment that is not, they have restricted competition for you. And that's a pretty good thing to do for a private company. Yep, I think the relationship with the government for us is very interesting for the first 5 years. Because I have been working at a part-time job for a government organization called the Ministry of Foreign Trade in 1997 for 40 months. And I learned that you should never rely on government organization to do e-commerce. And I started the business. I told my people and my team in love with the government, but don't marry them. Respect them. And a lot of people say, well, government officers talking about internet, censorship and this, that, and worry about. I think it is the opportunity, is the responsibility talking to them. Tell them how the internet can help. So you tell them we create jobs. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people debate and fight against them. And in the first 12 years, anybody comes to my office, I sit down talking to them how we can help the economy, how we can create jobs, why China will improve by the internet. I think because the internet at that time was new to any government. And if you convince somebody, you have the chance. So today, I'm very talkative. Probably this is why I talk to so many people. You also see the Hollywood. Yeah. What are you doing in Hollywood? Well, I like the Hollywood innovation. The digital, I learned so much about the Hollywood movies, especially the Forrest Gump. You love Forrest Gump. Why do you like him? Simple, never give up. People thinking he's dumb, but he knows what he's doing. And I was very depressed the day in the year 2002 or 3 in the States. When either earlier than that, I was very depressed. I could not find out a way for the internet. And then I watched the movie in my friend's home, Forrest Gump. When I see him, I said, this is the guy you should learn from. Believe that what you are doing, love it, whether people like it, don't like it. And like the world, life is like a box. You never do what it's. I never know I would be here talking to you and talking to Charlie Rose. I never knew. But today I made it. And I told my parents in my apartment 15 years ago, guys, we have to go to work hard, not for ourselves. If we can be successful, 80% of the young people in China can be successful. We don't have a rich father, powerful uncle. We don't have $1 from bank, incentive from the government. Just work as a team. So what do you worry about? I worry about today. A lot of young people lose hope, lose vision, and start to complain. Because we also have the same period. Because when it's not a good feeling being rejected by so many people. We're also depressed, but at least later we find that the world has a lot of opportunities. How you see the world, how you catch the opportunity. And Hollywood gave me a lot of inspiration. You're basically out there. You're out there because you want to make movies to sell. I want to make movies for business. Why? We are an e-commerce company. We have a lot of products that need logistics, but movie, TV, these are things you don't need a logistic system, and movies are probably the best product that can help Chinese young people to understand. Because one thing I told the Chinese people, my friends, in American movies, all the heroes at the beginning, they took like a bad guy, but when terrible things come, they become hero, and finally they all survived. China, you are a hero, all heroes died. So only dead people become a hero. Nobody wants to be the hero. So I want to change the Chinese people. Yeah, I want to say hero. Today we have so many heroes living in this world. China today, are you worried the economy is slowed down? No, I don't worry about it. I think China is doing it is slowing down is much better than keeping at 9%. China today is the second largest economy in the world. It is impossible to keep 9% of the growth. If China is to keep the 9% of the growth of the economy, there must be something wrong. You will never see the blue sky. They will never see the quality. China should pay attention to the quality of the economy. China should not. So if we have a lot of influence, like Hollywood movies things, and we have sports, and these things in the GDP would be much better. So I think just like human grow, you can grow. Certain times, the slow growth of a body is slow, but you should grow your mind, grow your culture, grow your values, grow your vision. I think China is moving in that direction. And did you see Modi in India? Not yet. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, you go to India? You're one of the world's richest people. Your company is one of the world's richest companies. What do you want beyond Alibaba? Well, but by richest people, I was really not happy. In the past 3 months, when people say Jack Ma is the richest people of China, global celebrity. No, I'm not. When I start a business, you are. I never thought, maybe I'm now. But I think 15 years ago, my partner, my wife was at that time, one of the 18 fathers. I asked her, do you want your husband to be a rich person? I never said rich person in China, rich person in Hangzhou. Or do you want your husband to be a respected person? She said, of course, respected. Because she never believed, and I don't believe I will be rich people. We just want to survive. I believe we have $1 million. When you have $20 million, you still have problems. We start to buy and this and that had it come. When you have $1 billion, that's not your money. That's the trust society is giving you. They believe you can never manage the money, use the money for better than the government and others. So I think today we have the resources to do more things. With the money we have, with the influence we have, you should spend more time on the young people. And I would say, someday I'll go back to teach, go back to school, spend time with the young people and telling that and sharing with them what I've done. So the money is not mine, I just carry it happily. And having these resources, then I want to do a better job. Just tell them your story. Tell them the story and tell them that if Jack, I don't think in this world a lot of people have been rejected 30 times. The only thing we should never give up, the only thing we're like the first gun. We keep on fighting. We keep on changing ourselves. We don't complain. Whether you are successful or not successful, I find that when they finish the job, if they made a mistake or they failed, if they always complain to others, this guy will never come back. If the guy only checks himself, there's something wrong with me here, something is wrong with me there, this guy. Jack, on behalf of everybody and our television audience around the world, thank you for talking. Thank you.